Hey guys, it's the Bigster back for another one. I hope everyone's doing great. I hope you're having a great Sunday. This is my only time to record anything because I am a mom of four. And so here we are. So it's been on my heart to share something kind of hard to talk about sometimes. I am a Gen X. I was born in the 70s. Gen X, according to my research, is from about 1965 to 1980, and I was born in the 70s, so I grew up in that time frame. And I heard somebody put it really well on another YouTube channel. They said that we were like the last semi-feral generation, and it's so true. It's so true. So I grew up in the Northeast, in a kind of an urban area. It was not, there were trees, but there weren't that many trees. And so I grew up in lower middle class. Some would say po. I grew up with not much. And my parents, worked. My dad worked. My mom had part-time jobs just to help make ends meet. But, I was home alone a lot. I remember being 5 years old, standing on the stool to make myself a sandwich at the counter. I was 5. Nobody was home. And that happened all the time with me and my friends in the neighborhood. We'd go bike riding by ourselves. We did not get supervision at all. We were kind of free roaming. We were free roam kids. We therefore grew up to be very, very independent. I never asked anyone for help because along the lines, I learned no one's going to help me. I have to figure it out myself. So our parenting, the parenting that I got was really from teachers that cared. And I had a few of them over the years. And those were my mentors. Those were my guides. We didn't get much oversight back in those days. The younger generations, I'm sure you have a hard time relating in some ways to what I'm saying, what I'm describing. But for my whole area, this was normal. So we watched whatever we wanted. Scary, brutal, inappropriate content. We watched whatever we wanted. Nobody checked on us. I had friends that were in relationships really young. I kissed a boy when I was 5. I mean, thinking back, I'm like, ugh. He was another 5-year-old. So, but like we knew that, like we knew about that at such a young age. It's pretty twisted. We were latchkey kids. I mean, house was empty a lot after school. And so I made dinner. I took care of my younger sisters. Both parents worked a lot. And the other thing I want to say is there was a lot of abuse. I remember a lot of my friends were abused. I was abused. And nobody really helped. There was no help at all for us back then. I'm a teacher, and I had students in class that reminded me of kids I went to school with that had genuine special needs. Nobody cared. If you can't hack it, that's on you, So I didn't know anybody that got speech therapy. I didn't know anybody that got, any kind of support or even resource room, So that was my experience growing up in the 70s and 80s. So what was emphasized to our generation was education. I had actually a college professor tell me, why would you go to college if you're not going to use your degree? Why would you want to stay home with your kids? And I got that message all along. All the teachers that were our mentors pushed education, saying that the way out of your bad situation was to get an education and get a good career so you didn't have to rely on anybody anymore. And so no big surprise, that's what a lot of us did. I know that I went right to college out of high school. I've always been really good in school. I've always done really well. I did great in high school. I did great in college. And I thought I wanted to get married. I knew I wanted to be a mom. I just couldn't imagine like doing that. So I had a career in my 20s because that's what we were supposed to do. The downside of that is a lot of the people that I went to school with, they did get married, but there were many that never had children. I ran into a friend from college. I was in a friend group of about 8 to 10 people, and only me and one other person in our entire group of friends actually got married and had kids. Some of them got married and just chose not to have children. But, you know, I see that as a big problem for our generation. And I think one of the things that caused this phenomena to happen, and now this is only in my experience from what I've seen in people that I know from my generation, is that we didn't receive any kind of inpouring from the generation prior. I know from my experience, my parents barely tried. I mean, they provided what an orphanage would have provided, and that's it. There was no investment in me or anything, nothing. And so that's left an absence, a gap. And I think that a lot of people from my generation feel like we don't have what it takes to give to a child, and so we don't try to have a child. Now, I'm at the age where I could still have a child, but I'm past the point of wanting to have any more kids. I have 4. I feel like I did my part. But I got to tell you, it's been really, really challenging. I have nothing to draw from as a mom. There was nothing passed on to me. There was no wisdom or blessing or guidance or, you know, learning. Nobody pulled me aside to teach me how to not lose my temper when things got overwhelming. Like nobody. And so the answer to every question when I was growing up was just get an education, get a degree, go to college, and everything will be fine. Well, guess what? It wasn't fine. It wasn't fine. And that works if you're going to be a career person and just make lots of money and get a big house, get a nice car. But I wanted more. I wanted to have kids. I wanted to be a mom. So anyway, coming back to what I was trying to say before, and of course I go rabbit trail, you know, that's the story of my life, rabbit trail. A lot of us chose not to have kids, some not to even get married. And the reason was just waited too long. Okay, didn't get married in 20s, wanted to wait till you had lots of money, and that happened, but by then there wasn't a lot of choice in spouses. So I got married at 31, and that was kind of late. And I still feel like I might have waited longer than I probably should have to get married for a few reasons, which I may or may not talk about this session. I'm not sure. Oh, there's a bee. I hope he doesn't sting me. Go away, Mr. Bee. Bee. A lot of us married late. A lot of us, if we had kids, are struggling to parent. I personally don't have any grandparents for my children because my parents' generation, they're the boomers. And a lot of the boomers that I've met are very self-centered. And so they feel like once they have raised their kids, they shouldn't be burdened in any way. My parents are not involved. My husband's parents are not involved. They're not in the picture at all. So we're doing it on our own, and we've done the best we can, but it's been really hard. And it's not just me either. It's not just me. We were just at a barbecue a little while ago, and we had a couple of people who were of that generation talking about how they just don't want to be bothered with grandkids or anything. Like they've done their job, they raised kids, and now they should be free to do whatever they want. They don't want to be burdened. And I don't imagine that it's been like that in any other time in human history. I feel like multi-generational families were the norm up until recently, and that's a shame. That's a shame. I feel a burden to be what I wish I had for my kids, to be that grandma. Oh, my cat's here. Hey, cat. Hey, Gandalf. You want to say hi? Look at that cute cat. Look how cute he is. He's so cute. So I feel like Gen X, this is our job to turn this around for the next generation. A lot of these young people are struggling, and they don't know which end is up. They're being lied to in different aspects of their lives, and they need their parents. They need their parents to speak truth to them. And that's us. That's us. If you're not a mom or a dad, you can still speak truth to the younger generation. You can still be that person that speaks blessing, that guides, that invests in. It's not too late for the next generation. They're not that old yet. So I feel like that's pretty much what I want to say. It's something that's been on my heart, and I think that's it. So thank you for listening to me. If there's anything else you want me to talk about, you can go ahead and leave a comment. If not, I hope you have a great day, and I'll try to make another video when I have a free moment. Okay, thank you. Be blessed.